Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. So for today's reading, we're going to take a look at which of your chakras needs your immediate attention right now. And you're going to have to do this using your intuition. I didn't put any crystals down, and each card is a different chakra. So you're going to need to close your eyes or use your intuition, meditate on which of your, you can ask your higher self which of your chakras is needing your focus at the moment, what needs healing, where do you need to be applying yourself, and see which of these three cards you are drawn to the most. You can be drawn to more than one. Just use your intuition to guide you, and take what resonates for you, because these are collective messages, so everything isn't going to resonate with you, and it may, but it may not, and if it doesn't, it's meant for someone else. So yeah, the timestamps will be located in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your readings. Welcome, pile number one. This is your reading. So you were drawn to pile number one. This is going to reveal the chakra that needs your immediate attention right now. And so you were drawn to this was the third eye chakra with the Hanged Man. So I feel like right now you're being asked to pause. There may be something that you're not seeing currently in your life, or there may be something that you need a shift in perspective. And so when the Hanged Woman comes through, the Hanged Man, this is about taking a pause, a time out to meditate, to reflect, and to look at all of your options, and to analyze your reasons for doing things. And so we're going to take a look at what it is that you may not be seeing, why this chakra needs some work. I have two different piles, what's going on in the chakra, and then how can we work on improving that chakra. And I have a few tarot that I want to pull out too, since this is the chakra tarot. Let's see what messages want to come through the third eye. What's going on in the third eye? Just a few of these, please. What's going on in the third eye of pile number one? Why do they need to work on this third eye chakra? What is their message, please? This one. And that one. Let's get one more. This one. Okay. It's just gonna weave. Alright, let's slide you over here. So we have the Queen of Swords. Okay. So, I feel like the way that you may be speaking to yourself may need some shifting here. We have the Temperance, yeah. Perhaps you have a harsh inner critic, a harsh inner voice. The way that you speak to yourself needs your shifting, and it could come from something of the past. We're going to take a look. We also have the Waning Moon, gaining wisdom. Something to do with reevaluating your plans, seeing things from a different perspective. I feel like you may be impatient with yourself, and that can be that harsh critic. Maybe you're not where you want to be in your life at the moment, and so you have this harsh way of speaking to yourself, maybe criticizing yourself. Maybe you're not seeing and acknowledging how far you've come and the obstacles that you've been through, and the way that you are perceiving yourself. That needs to shift. I feel like there needs to be, you need to have more passion, more compassion, more patience, more understanding, more peaceful tones when you speak to yourself. Let me see what else we have. We have the Eight of Coins, yeah. there needs to be some time dedicated, spent with yourself, connecting to your intuition here. There needs to be more self-reflection, changing the way that you speak about your work and about what you've created for yourself, you know, and having more, like I said, more patience, more understanding that, here's the thing, like, anytime we're wanting to create something, to build something up, you know, whether it's a job, a career, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes commitment. Even if we're trying to change like a belief system or a pattern, you know, overcoming hardship, challenges, trauma, drama, heartache, betrayal, all those things, it takes time. It takes application, you know, constant determination, and to catch ourselves in the moments when we are reverting backwards, or when we're putting ourselves down or shaming ourselves, or you know, placing blame somewhere, you know, whether it's on ourselves or outside of ourselves. And I feel like this is about taking ownership of the way that you feel, and an ownership of the roles that you play, what you have created for yourself and in your life, you know, and understanding where you have the power, you have the control is in your hands. You can choose to create a life that you want to be living. You also have the choice to decide your own belief systems, the way that you communicate to yourself, the way you communicate your needs. This all comes from within, and taking the time to go within, to reflect on your needs, on your reasons for believing things, your reasons for trusting in certain people, the motivations behind your actions. You know, do you do things out of guilt? Do you do things out of people pleasing? You know, or do you do things because it truly brings you joy and excitement, and it comes from your heart, and you feel like you're doing something that you truly, wholeheartedly, really want to do, and this is something that you truly believe. You know, I feel like your third eye really wants you to get in there. This is the center of our, you know, our vision, our intuition, our belief systems. It is the way that we perceive the world around us, the way that we perceive ourselves. You know, it's also the where the hemispheres of our brain, the masculine and feminine, you know, whether we're in harmony with ourselves, with our heart and our mind. Are they in sync? Are they on the same page? Or are they fighting against each other, you know? So I feel like you're being asked to get to the truth of the matter, you know, and to shift. There may have been something that you wanted to create for yourself, or the life you wanted to be living, and there's a little bit of, you know, criticism about how far you've come. And I feel like what you're being asked to do is to find that balance, to have more patience, to see yourself from a different perspective, a different angle, and get to know yourself on a deeper level, and to be guided by your intuition, and to open up your heart, and to be a little bit more empathic and understanding and nurturing to yourself. Because there's something that you're not seeing, something that you're not aware of, something that's hidden from you. I feel like you may have a hidden talent. All right, let's see what these other cards say. We have distance and time out. Yeah, you need to take some time out. That's awesome. We came with the Hangman. We have letting go. All right, that's something you need to move on from, something that needs to just shift. Transforming the way that you see something, where you've been stuck, where haven't you been moving forward. You have the present moment here. So if you keep rehashing something over and over and over again, it's time to let that go. It's time to bring healing. It's time to move on, and to be more in the present moment, so that you can build and create a new life for yourself. the life that you want to be living, a life that makes you feel, more gratitude, a life that's more abundant, that's more successful and more prosperous. What else do we have? Feeling trapped. Yeah. The feeling stuck. We have overthinking here. Too much in the mind. Which it's fine, but like because we need time to self-analyze and to go within and reflect, But if you come to a point where you're just constantly in your head over, all the time, you're constantly in your thoughts, you can get trapped there and just constantly be cycling around. And what you need to do is to step out of the mind some and to come into the body, into the present moment, right? Because you could be living in the future or living in the past, okay? And so when we're suspended in the present moment, right here, right now, we're no longer in the past, we're no longer in the future trying to predict what's going to happen or looking back in regret or in guilt or shame or fear. When we're in the present moment, we're right here, right now, and this is where we build. We build in the present moment. And in order for us to tap into the present moment, we have to get still. We have to calm the mind. We have to be, the best way I have found to calm the mind and to be still is to be in nature. Nature is what grounds me. It helps bring me into the present moment. And I feel like it's different for each of the different signs or the different elements. So like if you were a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, like you may need to be around water. Water may be the thing that soothes you, that grounds you, that brings you into the present moment. It helps you to flow. It helps the mind to just slow down and be at a calm pace. I'm an air sign, but I'm a grounded rising sign. So I'm a Gemini with Capricorn rising. And I love nature. I love the trees. I love the birds. I love bird watching. I love gazing out into my open fields that I have right in front of me. This is what helps me to tune into the present moment. And so it's different for everybody. But when you get into that present moment, like all that scattered energy, all that mental chatter, it slows down. It almost dissipates. Because then you become more focused and more aware and more conscious. And this is how we tune in. This is how we self-reflect. And I feel like this is where you're being guided, is to slow down the mind, to get more in the present moment, to reflect more, to be more meditative before acting, before moving forward. Okay, let's see what else we have. You have isolation. Yep. Confirmation. It's time for you to, we have anxiety, fear, and sadness. Okay, so this is what's going on. There is anxiety about the future, and then there's sadness as well. So there could be sadness of what has been left behind or what you have to let go or something that you experienced that has brought you sadness. And you're afraid to experience that again in the future, right? And so whatever it was that happened, this is what's holding you back. This is what needs to be released. This is what needs to be let go. If letting go means that you need to accept this sadness that you experienced, allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to process the emotion that has you like stuck in time, okay? And it's something that has to do with... It could be a relationship. I'm not quite sure. The other cards may tell us, but I'm not sure. I just have feeling trapped in sadness, so I'm not sure if this is a job. I don't really see a lot of emotional cards or cups coming through. So it just could be moving on. You know what I mean? Or maybe you've had to let something go in order for you to move forward. And there's a little bit of anxiety about what the future may hold. So... I definitely feel like it's time for you to just, you're being asked to suspend any forward movement. And in order to move forward, we need to get still so that we can reevaluate what it is that you want to do going forward. And what is it that needs to be left behind? What have you done over analyzing, over processing, over, you know, thinking about, and to let it go. And I feel like you need to trust a little more, to go within, to listen to your intuition, to listen to your heart, and to be guided by those energies, not being led by fear, not acting on anxiety, and that being your guiding compass. You want to tune into the feelings of the heart and your body, and listening to the energies that are present within, and what's guiding you within. Are you acting out of fear? Are you acting out of guilt? Or are you acting out of love and compassion and truth and faith, you know, and your passions, and being guided by those energies? That's the energy you want to lead with. You don't want to lead with these lower vibrational energies, because you're just going to keep creating more and more of that, okay? All right, so let's take a look at what you can do, even though I've been kind of already saying that. Let's say what the cards say about how you can heal and work with the third eye chakra. We have direction, guardian. Choose your path. Exactly. Your emotions, your thoughts, your energy is what's guiding you, and it's what's directing you. And it can be things in the subconscious mind, things you're not even aware of, you know, and unfortunately we are guided by our beliefs, and our beliefs what dictate our reality. So if you believe, you know, that you're not going to make it, or that things are going to fall apart, or that you're stuck, then you will be, and you are, because that is your belief. But if you believe that everything's going to work out, and you're always being guided, and you're going to be successful, you know, I just have to believe in myself, I have to trust myself, and I have to pump myself up, and be more confident in who I am, and speak kindly to myself, and have patience and divine timing, then I know everything is working out for me. And that's how we heal and choose the direction that we want to be going in, by acting on the energies that we want to, you know, by deciding which energy we want to use. It's all about using the tool, you know, and these are the tools that you have. We have the Hermit, retreat and recharge. I'm sorry I keep shoving these in the light, but I know you guys can see them. The light's coming in. All right, so definitely need some time to go within, to meditate, to take a step back, to reflect on what is the path that you want to step on. Where do you see yourself, you know, going? What do you see yourself achieving? What is the type of job you want? What is the type of relationship you want? What is the type of life you want? How do you view happiness? You know, get in touch with who you really are and what your truths are, you know. Why do we judge people who do this and live their life like this, you know? Who are we to judge anyone? And it's understanding, like, where does this come from? Is this really my belief system? Is this really how I believe? Or is this what I was taught? Or is this what society says is the truth? You know, it's getting in touch with your own personal intuition, your own personal belief system. We have Stargazer, set your sights higher. Ooh, okay. So if those of you who, like, this involves like a job, or you're afraid of leaving behind a job that's just not working out for you, it's not making you feel good, it's kind of making you feel, you know, like you're stuck here and there's nowhere else to go, and I can't find any forward movement. It's time to, like, be more aware of what it is that you want to do for yourself, and to set your sights higher. You deserve something that fulfills you, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel inspired and happy to, like, do, you know, you're happy to perform this. This comes from my heart. I love it. I could do this every single day. That is your gift to offer to the world. We're not meant to work in these jobs that just pay the bills, you know, because that's not a fulfilling life. We're meant to do more. There's so much more to life. But we really need to know, you really have to get in there and learn yourself. You know, it's know thyself. All right, we have the Fire Guardian. Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's living from your heart space, not living from your mind, not living out of fear, not living out of anxiety. It's living from your heart and living for your passions. You know, what are you passionate about? Maybe get in touch with your inner child and what was something that you loved doing when you were younger. You know, what lifted you up? What made you feel empowered? What made you feel like you could do this all day and time just flew, you know, and you weren't even paying attention to time, or, you know, you had no time to really think about those things. You were just in the moment doing what you love doing. This is what you need to tap into. All right, hang on. I got the kids coming in. I'm going to push through, and hopefully my voice is louder than their voice. There's a room that divides us, so I'm hoping that they'll keep it down to a minimum, but they have a friend over, so bear with me. We have breathe. Inhale, I am relaxed. Exhale, I am at peace. Deep breathing calls us back to the moment. It slows us down. It taps us into our senses and reorients our minds. The angels ask you, if you find yourself stressed, filled with racing thoughts, or unable to focus, please remember to breathe. Okay, this is such a great practice because this also helps bring you into the present moment, right? So I love that this confirmation came through listening to your breath. So anytime you find that your thoughts are racing and that you find yourself in that spiral and anxiety starts building because you're thinking of all the possibilities, what if, and they're all the negative scenarios, like, stop and breathe. Come into your center, step into your heart space, breathe in confidence, connection, you know, present moment, safety, security, and then breathe out all the stresses, all the worries, and all the anxieties, okay? This will help you stay centered and calm. And then you have joy. When I feel happy, I manifest more reasons to be happy. This angel reminds you that when we choose happy thoughts and set intentions to live joyfully, we are setting ourselves up for success and contentment in all areas of our lives. So I love that exactly. You know, don't entertain those negative, fearful thoughts, you know, because those are all potential realities. Yes, they could, but is that what we want to manifest? No. So we want to set our sights higher. We want to visualize the highest potential possible reality, and we want to fill our hearts, and we want to hold on to that emotional vibration as long as possible. And this is actually how we manifest, because you start to become in alignment. You become a vibrational match for those realities. And if you've been focusing on the negativity and the anxiety and all that, you're just creating that reality for yourself. And when you start focusing on the joyful thoughts, you know, the things like the possibilities, the potentials, what I could create, how I could be living my life, the emotion that I feel doing what I love, the joy that comes into my heart when I think about doing these things, when I'm involved in doing these things, this is where I want to be. This is who I want to become. You know what I mean? You anchor that reality in. And we have patience coming through again. It takes time for miracles to happen, and I am okay with it. The angels remind you that in order to succeed, you must learn how to control your impatience and wait until the right outcome you deserve comes along. I love that it says that you deserve, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we start to feel like, you know, I've been doing all this, I've been manifesting this, and I've been holding the intention for this, I've been doing all this stuff, you know, but there is doubt, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, sometimes it requires our complete faith and trust and surrender to just go with the flow and know that everything is working out according to divine timing. And sometimes, like, in order for you to move up, that means somebody else has to move up, you know? And so everybody could be just in the right chain, you know what I mean? The right cog has to turn at the right time for everybody to move up and step into their new role, you know? We're all connected, and sometimes we just have to have that faith and know that it's going to happen, you know, and to have that trust, to have that patience. And, you know, believe me, I know patience is like such a aggravating kind of word, but it's true, unfortunately. It is one of the tests that we have to go through. All right, some crystals that you may want to work with. We have topaz that will help you find clarity and focus and to trust your inner wisdom. And the other one, we have sodalite, to seek truth and insight. Express yourself with clarity. So these are beautiful crystals to work with. that will help you to balance out that third eye chakra. Okay. All right, I'm going to let you guys go before these guys get any louder. I hope this reading helps you, and I hope that it finds those who are meant to hear this message. Thank you all for joining me in the temple today. If you like my readings, please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story. And I'm sending y'all lots of love. Take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading pile number 2. So today we're taking a look at your chakras and which one needs your immediate attention, and you were drawn to pile number 2. So let's take a look at the chakra you're going to be looking into today. And you have the heart chakra with the Empress card. And you know what's so funny is here that's being reflected, the sun is shining. It's mid-afternoon at this point. And I have this chakra goddess tea light candle, and she's reflecting here on the board. So I feel like there's maybe something that you're holding on to, some kind of emotion that's in the heart chakra that may be blocked. This could be something to do with self-love or a relationship of some sort. There's some lesson here. So we're going to take a look at what your heart chakra wants you to work on. So I have 2 piles. One, this is going to be messages from the heart, what's going on, and then this is going to be ways to heal it, to energize it and restore it. So first, I want to do a couple tarot to see what's going on, what's your messages from the heart chakra. All right, what's going on? What needs pile number 2's immediate attention? What's going on in the heart here? Okay, let's get one more. What's going on this one here? All right, so we have the star. Maybe it's about your expression. The King of Cups, yeah. Your self-worth, your self-love, who you are, the way you express yourself. Being more independent. With the 10 of Cups. What else? The Page of Cups and the 2 of Wands. Alright, so this has to do with a relationship of sorts here. I feel like your heart wants you to set some healthy boundaries for yourself, perhaps to have more of a sense of self, who you are, getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Let me turn this down a little bit. The way that you speak to yourself, I feel there may have been something to do with the relationship, some kind of partnership that you were in that maybe you're afraid to step into partnership. Maybe you're afraid that you don't deserve love. There's a fear of love, a fear of happiness, a fear of finding perhaps a potential partner. Maybe there's a fear about finding a partner and having a relationship. And perhaps there is a the King of Cups was coming upside down. I usually don't read them upside down yet because I don't feel very secure yet, and learning the tarot. I'm always learning. So, but there may be a fear, and sometimes when we have a fear of sharing ourselves and being vulnerable, we tend to close down. We tend to shut down and hold our guard up. We tend to hold our emotions in. We don't express them very fluently. I feel like there may be a little bit of resistance to express your truth, to express how you feel. I feel like you may hide your true self. I feel like you may hide your feelings. You may feel like there's a void in your heart. Maybe you're searching for that true love, and maybe you've been settling for less than you deserve because there's this lack of self-worth that you have. You don't see yourself fully. I feel like there needs to be some healing in regards to letting go of a relationship or letting go of something that has potential, but it's not quite, on the mature end. There may be a little bit of immaturity in the relationship. I feel like maybe somebody may have broken your heart, or they're just not very dependable. And I feel like you deserve somebody who's consistent, who is mature, who is responsible, who has that stable foundation for you. And I feel like you may be settling for something that's less than your worth because of the fear, perhaps, of being alone. I feel like, there's a, you may be, now I have the Page of Cups and I have a King of Coins here. So this could be, you may have a choice or decision. So you may be at odds with a choice, and there could be a choice between two people. And somebody may be, I mean, take what resonates. This isn't going to apply to everybody. I feel like there may be somebody who is, you've been with before, their routines, their flaws, and you've been there, so you know what to expect. But then there's this new person who's maybe young. They're very, it's a new energy, so it's unknown, and there's this chance that you may have to take walking away from this other individual. And so stepping into a new relationship, it doesn't bring that stability, and so you're afraid that to walk away from one and to choose something else, and it doesn't work out, then you'd be left with nothing. This is only going to apply to certain people who are where this involves the relationship with another individual. But I feel like with some of you here, majority of you here, this is your relationship with yourself and learning to depend on your own intuition, to listen to your heart, to be guided by your heart, to live a life that feels more fulfilling, and to choose people in your life who honor and respect you and bring that loving, respectful energy into your life. So there may be a little bit of what, the surface. It's on the surface of a relationship, the surface type relationships where it's only about the outside focus, and there needs to be some deep diving where you learn to see people for their actions and not their words. You know what I mean? And wanting a relationship that's a deep connection versus a shallow surface connection. It appears to be this way on the outside, but on the inside, it doesn't feel very fulfilling. It doesn't feel grounded in love. It could be grounded in, stability and looks, and very, oh, you're hot, but you're, dumb as bricks. You know what I mean? And that's not something that's going to be sustainable and long lasting. You know what I mean? It's just a surface chemistry attraction type thing. But I feel like your heart wants you to seek something that has deeper meaning, that offers you more love, more connection, more security, more nurturing, more compatibility, one that you can plan a future with, one that will help you build a solid foundation, and not just the immediate needs and desires of the body. You know what I mean? And knowing that you are worthy and that you are deserving of that type of love and relationship in your life. So there's something to do with your self-worth, and afraid of maybe how things appear to other people, you know, when wanting to fill a society standard versus what you really truly want, need, and desire and deserve, you know what I mean? And instead of settling for this, I feel like your heart wants you to truly tap into your divine feminine here, getting to know your emotions, and healing the self-worth, the self, you know, lack of self-worth that you may be holding on to in your heart, or a fear of being alone, or feel a fear of not being fulfilled in your life, you know, or that somehow you're not lovable and that you deserve less than in some way. Okay, all right, that's what's coming through here. We have a lot of cups and coins, so I feel like it's something to do with like emotional stability here, and what you can depend on. And there's some things that are kind of rocky in your life at the moment. So let's see what else the heart wants to say. So we have spring, okay, so planting seeds. So we want to nurture something. Nurture card just came out. Protective, loving feelings. So we have the wound now, and we have Mars hot. Okay. So there may have been an argument or some kind of, yeah. Like I said, there may have been somebody in your life who, you know, this is the loss that you feel. This individual that was in your life, I feel like you weren't losing out on, and you're not losing out on the opportunities for happiness and success and partnership, okay? The reason why this relationship ended is because it wasn't meant for you. It was a lesson along the way, okay? This individual was teaching you where you lacked self-love, where you lacked self-worth, where you didn't see your potential, where you didn't see, you know, your value, and that you were settling. And so this individual may have been teaching you how to set healthy standards and boundaries for yourself, where you're not overlooking red flags. If this individual, you know, they're telling you one thing, but then their actions are doing another, that's not somebody who's in an alignment with their authentic selves. This is somebody who wants to portray themselves this way, but truly they're not living that way. You know, they want you to believe this is who they are, but that's not really the role that they're playing. It's just what they want you to think. They're selling you a story. They're selling you an image, but they're not truly that individual. They're not truly that person. And you want somebody who's nurturing, who's loving, who's protective, who's compassionate, who shares sincere feelings with you, right? A sincere relationship. Somebody who wants to take care of you. Somebody who wants to be there. They want to put the work in. They want to put the effort in. And in order for you to achieve that, you have to learn how to love yourself and to set those healthy standards. You want a love that's passionate, you know what I mean? And that is attracted to you, not just forced on you, or not because it appears to look good on the outside, but on the inside it's not very fulfilling. All right, we have surrender. We got to let go. We got to move on. Got to move on from this person, from this experience. You have magic, strength, and fear. Okay, so let's move you guys here. I'm going to put the fear. See, the fear is, it's the fear of letting go. It's the fear of moving on and walking away and making that choice. There's a fear to say goodbye because there's a fear that you're not going to get that happy ending, that you're not going to find the love of your life. And here's the thing, you have to be strong, and you have to know your strength. You have to know that you can and that you do deserve love in your life. Like, no, nobody can complete you, and you don't need somebody to complete you. We shouldn't look for that. That's just, you know, from that movie. What is it? I can't think of it. You know, the one with Tom Cruise, when he's like, show me the money anyways, and she's like, he's like, you complete me kind of thing. Like, the thing is like, you have to become your own best friend. You have to become like your own lover, your own supporter, champion, cheerleader, all those things. You have to champion for yourself. You have to say, no, she deserves more than this. I deserve more than this. I deserve somebody who sees me, who loves me, who respects me, who wants to build this happy life. I don't have to question or have a second thought in my mind. Do they really mean it? Are they cheating on me? Are they really in this for the right reasons, or what are they doing? Who are they talking to? What are they doing behind my back? Like, if you have those questions, concerns, and fears, then you're probably not in a healthy relationship. This is probably a learning experience, and that you're learning, what isn't good for you, what seems to be toxic, and what is good for you. By learning what you don't want, you then learn what you do want. And so there's magic in the air. I feel like there's going to be a big shift for you. You're going to start seeing why this had to take place, why this had to end, was so that something new can come in. And you just have to be strong in your conviction to say goodbye and to walk away and to make that choice, that knowing that you've made the right choice and that you're choosing you now. You're choosing to empower yourself, choosing to love yourself, and to know that you are worthy of somebody who sees your heart and wants to share in that energy exchange, to share in that type of love. I love the way that you love yourself, and I want to be around that energy. I want to be around somebody who knows who they are, who is empowering, who doesn't need somebody to complete them, who knows who they are, who knows their worth, who sets healthy standards for themselves. They don't settle for crumbs. They want somebody to bake them a damn cake, you know what I mean? And present it with open arms and saying, hey, I was thinking about you, and, I bought this for you. I got this for you. I made this for you. I want to be with you. I can't stop thinking about you, and you want that type of love, and you don't want to doubt it, So, and most people who are open-hearted and, they're like infatuated with you, they just express it. It comes easily, and like, you don't have to doubt it, So I feel like you're being asked to strengthen your heart, strengthen your connection to yourself and to your own worth, and to shine a light on your fears. Why are you afraid to let go? Why are you afraid to move on? How is this relationship serving you? What lessons were you learning from this experience? Have you learned the lessons from this experience? Because if not, then unfortunately there's you just get a repeat of the same relationship, just different experiences, but they all end in heartache and heartbreak and betrayal, So the common denominator is you allow it. You allow yourself to be treated that way and to say it's okay. It's all right. Everybody can make mistakes, but how many mistakes? You know what I mean? And when's enough? And when are you going to start saying I deserve somebody who cares how they make me feel, and they think about my feelings before they act, or before they speak, or if they do things, they talk to me about it, or we can have these kinds of conversations, and I don't feel like it's going to turn into a war just because I have emotions about something, And you deserve that relationship, but I feel like you need to get to know yourself a little bit on a deeper level, and there needs to be some cleansing and healing and releasing of some emotions that you may be holding on to. All right, so let's take a look at how you can heal the heart chakra here. All right, hang on. All right, so we have the medicine mother. Honor your inner knowing. This is the healing here. So you need to mother yourself. You need to nurture yourself. You need to tune into your heart. What do you need? What do you need to hear? How you need to comfort yourself. That's how you become your own best friend. You don't search for somebody to do that, because here's the thing. Only you know how you want to be loved. Only you know how you need to be comforted each moment, And you can explain that to your partner, like, hey, when I'm going through something emotional, I just need you to listen to me, to let me vent, or to give me a hug and to tell me it's going to be okay. Sometimes I don't need you to solve it for me. I just need somebody to vent to, It's explaining yourself and what your needs are to your partner, because they want to be that partner for you, and they want to be that support for you, but not everybody knows how to do it, because we all need love differently. You know, we all had different childhoods. We all had places where there was a void of love, or, you know, where we felt abandoned, or we felt isolated or ignored or shamed, you know, or where we made mistakes. And so we just need reminders that we're good, and that we're loved, and that it's okay. And if we don't know those places in our own heart, we can't share that deep love with someone else if we don't know ourselves that deeply, you know. And so I feel like there's some inner work that you need to do, things that need to be released. And you need to learn to trust your heart. You need to trust in those red flags. When your intuition starts spiking, your gut instincts start going up, you need to listen to that and stop denying how you feel and denying what you're experiencing. This is your truth. These are your indicators that things are going well or that they're not going well, you know? You need to see things with clarity. See the truth. Look at that. And you have the heart guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. But you have to know how you need to be loved. You know, what are your needs in a relationship? And is there a way that your partner can help you meet those needs? And are you meeting those needs for yourself? You know, are you comforting your own emotions? How do you comfort your rage when you are so angry about something? When you feel disrespected and somebody crosses the line, how do you handle that emotion? Do you ignore it and stuff it down? Or do you acknowledge, ooh, that person has really crossed the line with me, and I need to set a boundary for them because they are really disrespectful, and I'm going to either mention it to them, like, hey, I need to tell you something, like, I really don't like the way you're speaking to me, you don't like the name you just called me, it's making me want to remove myself from being around you, you know what I mean? There's a way that you can handle it very diplomatically by expressing when somebody is disrespecting you, versus combating them and being reactive and everything like that. Especially if this is your partner and they've hurt you and they've said something disrespectful, like, you know what I mean? You can call them out and check them in a way that really makes them like step back and go, whoa, like, oh my God, you know, you're right. I shouldn't have said it like that. I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you, blah, blah, blah. And you give them that opportunity, but you can't ignore that you feel that way. You know what I mean? And if you feel sad and something breaks your heart, you have to be able to communicate it to your partner and say, look, that really hurts my feelings when you ignore me, or when you don't take me seriously, or you take my emotions seriously. Like, this really does hurt my feelings when you say this, or when you say it like that. And you give them an opportunity to hear your heart, and then how do they then be observant of how they handle your heart? How do they handle your emotions? Are they gentle with them? Are they careful with them? Are they respectful of them? Or do they just fucking like throw them on the ground, throw them in your face and say, you can have this shit back, you know? Oh, I'm sorry. But I mean, it's horrible because that's what some people do, you know what I mean? And like, see your heart as like this beautiful piece of like diamond or glass, you know? And some people just throw it around and kick it around, and they're not very careful with it when it's this gentle, you know what I mean, vulnerable, you know, sensitive thing. And some people appreciate it. Some people are delicate. Some people are gentle and caring about your heart, and some people aren't. And you need to learn how to protect your heart, you know, still be open and vulnerable, but you have to be able to set those boundaries and know who is somebody who's not going to be gentle and nurturing, and who's somebody that's just going to throw it and smash it, you know, and who is somebody that you feel safe around. And your energy, listen to your intuition now, because you will pick up on somebody who has a toxic energy, because you've experienced it before and you know what that looks like, you know what that feels like now, and versus somebody who is you know, kind and sweet and gentle, because you will open up to them, you know what I mean? And here's the thing, sometimes, you know, some people like to talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, and that's why you have to be discerning. You can't just immediately rush in, give everything, and give it all at once upon the first time meeting them, because they are smooth with their words, right? And that's the thing you may have learned, is that some people, They just are good talkers, you know, but their actions say something differently, and that's why you have to withdraw and be more observant, and don't go rushing ahead and giving anybody and everybody your heart and your love, okay? We have the drum. Dream and journey, okay? Listen to your heart. Be guided by your heart here. I feel like there's a big shift ahead for you. The time is now. It's time for you. Time for you to be loved. Time for you to take care of yourself. Time for you to take care of your own needs. And the more you pour into your own cup, you will attract a partner who loves you the way that you want to be loved, because you're changing the way that you receive love. You know, you're setting those healthy standards, setting healthier boundaries for yourself. You're more protective over your heart. We have declutter. I am surrounded only by what I need and love. The angels want you to know the best way to declutter your home, your workspace, and your life is to take things one small step at a time. Combined small steps will lead combined small steps will lead to big improvements that will be easier to maintain over the long run, okay? So it's one step at a time. If you have things that remind you of this experience, you know what I mean? If you've just recently broken up with this individual and you're moving on, you know, take it one day at a time, 1 foot at a time. If you have things that remind you of this individual, get rid of them, you know. Take each day as it comes. Remove and let go of the things that are no longer serving you, that no longer bring you enjoyment, that no longer bring you pleasure, that no longer reflect the person that you're becoming. We have gratitude. Now, gratitude helps us open the heart, all right? I am grateful for the many things in my life that bring me joy and comfort. The angels want you to remember, if you just pause and think for a moment, you might just recognize that you have so much to be thankful for. No matter how small these positive things might seem, okay? So the way we can heal the heart chakra is to find ways to be grateful. And it can start off with small things at first until it grows and grows, right? I'm thankful to be able to wake up each day. I'm grateful to be able to, you know, comb my hair, to have shampoo and conditioner, to have warm clothes, to have electricity, to be able to pay my bills, that I have a job, that I have a car, that I have people who love me, that I have friendship, that I can put a smile on my face today, for the light in the sky, for the air that I breathe, you know, for the animals that surround me when I need comfort. You know, there's so many things to find gratitude, to have gratitude in our life, and this opens the heart and it taps us into a magnetic energy where we start to pull things into our life. If we're used to being the person that gives and does and puts the work in and is always, you know, giving out love and being generous and sharing love and kindness to others, but we haven't learned to receive it yet, this is because we haven't practiced the art of receiving. And gratitude taps you into the receiving, becoming the receiver, and learning to receive love by being grateful for what you have. And when we're out there saying like, oh, I don't have a partner, I don't have love, I'm afraid that I won't have you know, this relationship in my life, is because you're telling the universe that you don't have it. And so the universe just keeps giving you more of, you don't have. And when you learn to be grateful and say and believe, like, I am grateful for the love that I have in my life. I'm grateful for people who love me. I'm grateful for the people who respect me. And you start filling your cup with those gratitude affirmations, you bring energy to you. The energy starts coming in for you to receive it, because you're grounding into your being. I ams and I haves, and I'm grateful for what Spirit gives me. And so Spirit wants to give you more of that, because you're tapping into a higher vibrational of love, you know, and that's really what you want, is a higher vibration of love. So finding ways every day to be grateful for whatever it is you can find to be grateful for. puts you in the energy of receiving, okay? Opens that heart chakra. And you have hematite. Ground yourself, stay centered and connected to the earth. So spending more time in nature, spending more time in the present moment, having gratitude also brings you and connects you to the present moment. And in the present moment is where we have the most power to create in our lives, okay? We're not living in the past. We're not living in our minds, being fearful of the past repeating itself, having anxiety of the past repeating itself, or having a fear of the unknown. Like, when you're centered in the present, centered in your heart chakra, centered in gratitude, you have the ability to create in those moments and to visualize and feel into the life that you want to be experiencing. I am so grateful that I have the love of my life with me each day and every day, you know, and feel into the feeling of having that person with you, be with you on the journey, and the moments and the memories that you create with one another. And it's this reciprocal energy exchange of love, you know. You don't have to worry, you don't have to doubt their passion, you don't have to doubt the love that they're giving, you don't have to doubt their words, you don't have to look behind what they're saying, you know, you just feel it, you know it. You have amethyst and brace. These are crystals, sorry, I didn't tell you. These are crystals that you can work with to help you heal the heart chakra, okay? So we have hematite and amethyst. So connecting and grounding in your intuition here. Amethyst is a great healer, especially of the mind. It helps calm the mind. It brings the mind down to center so you're not stuck in the, you know, the arguments in your head that you may be having over and over again, or playing out your actions, your choices, and living in that space of, you know, anger, or I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done this sooner, you know, and you get stuck in those little loops. Amethyst will help bring you more clarity, help you connect to your intuition. It helps calm the mind down so that you can be more grounded and centered with the hematite. All right, we have peridot. This is a heart chakra crystal here. And working with peridot helps you to invite positivity and joy, and helps you to let your spirit shine with light so that you can see your potential, you can see your truth, you can see your beauty, you can see your worth and see your value. And then you have aquamarine, beautiful, okay? Finding emotional balance here, and letting your emotions be your guide. Not letting them like control you. It's allowing your emotions to flow, okay? So if you feel sadness or you feel anger, acknowledge that you have those feelings, because those are real, it's true. That this is really what I feel in this moment, right? But if it's sad and there's anger and there's shame and there's guilt, don't deny them and don't ignore them. Comfort them. Become your own mother, you know? It's okay. I know why you're afraid, and I know why you're hurt. I know why you're angry, and it's okay for you to feel that way, you know? And comfort your inner child. Comfort that version of yourself that was hurt, and give it the nurturing, loving compassion that you need in order to feel comforted, so that you can put on that brave face, so you can empower yourself and to be strong and to know your worth, know your value, and that it's okay for you to set healthier standards for yourself, because you know your worth and you know who you are. But you have to be brave enough, and you have to be in tune with who you are. It's time to grow. It's time to release these old relationships that are just not serving you. They're not meant for you. It's time for you to move on, to embrace your beauty, to embrace your creativity, to embrace your worth, to become your own best friend, to become your own cheerleader. Know that you can do it. Know that you deserve it. And to find a relationship that's emotionally balanced, you know, a partner who's emotionally balanced as well. And that can be so hard too. But, you know, you can also find somebody who's on the same page and they're wanting to work on themselves as well. You know, none of us are perfect. but we all have the opportunity to do better, and we should want to do better, especially for our partner, right? All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this reading. Thank you all for being here in the temple with me today. Please like and subscribe to my channel if this reading resonated with you. Sending you all lots of love. Take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 3. So today we're taking a look at which of your chakras needs your immediate attention, and you were drawn to this pile and this card. So let's see which chakra needs your help. We have the sacral chakra with the double card here. And this card usually is about some kind of deception, self-deception. And this one's linked to the emotional body. Our sacral chakra is our relationship center, our relationship to ourselves, to others, to our emotions. All right, so I've already pre-pulled your oracle cards. We have the messages coming from your sacral chakra on what needs your help, your healing. And this one's going to reveal guidance and support to help you heal and overcome, okay? But first we're going to get some tarot cards to see what's going on. Alright, so what's happening in the sacral chakra? What needs their attention right now? Pile number 3. I feel like there's something hidden in your shadow, or there's something that's deceiving you, or perhaps you may be deceiving yourself. And the questions to ask with this card is like, is the way that you're presenting yourself your true authentic self? Because here we have this individual and the shadow doesn't match, right? So there's something about I don't know, deceptions or hidden beliefs, hidden emotions, hidden pains, healing feelings, hidden feelings, things that are hidden in the shadow. These can also be the burdens, the ways that we deceive ourselves, betray ourselves. All right, let's get one more. Ooh, okay, there it is. There it is. All right, here we go. So we have the 7 of Swords. Not what it seems, okay. We already knew that. We have the Queen of Wands. The 7 of Wands. Okay. Let's see what else we have. We have the Page of Wands, Wall of Wands, and we have the Queen of Cups. And the Chariot. Okay. I feel like you may present yourself as somebody who's very strong, very accomplished, very secure. But I feel like there may be a lot of emotional insecurity, or just a lack of, I feel like you may be, you may be lost, you may be feeling, you may be present yourself to be put together and self-assured, but I feel like you may be kind of drifting at the moment, or afraid to put yourself out there, to put your true self out there. I feel like there's a part of you that you keep hidden away, that you don't embody yet, or it could be that you are there's a little bit of fear about expressing your true self, or about expressing your true feelings. Yeah, I feel like you're holding back. You're not really stepping into your true self yet. And that could be because you, there may be some burdens of the past, or some other expectations that are put on you by other people to be a certain kind of way. And I feel like, you are not, or you don't see yourself as strong enough to step into your full power, to embody your truth. I feel like you are maybe too concerned about how other people perceive you, instead of you embodying your true self and being connected with who you really are and your unique beauty and your unique gifts, the way that you express yourself. I feel like you're holding back on who you really are. And I feel like your sacral chakra, like it's your relationship with yourself and the way that you express yourself to others. They're not in an alignment here. So let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So we have spirit guides and assistants here. We have doubts and lonely. Past suffering. And family foundation. Okay, so this could be it. I feel like you doubt yourself. You doubt your abilities. Perhaps you even doubt your beauty. You could be presenting yourself a certain kind of way because this is what your family wants. This is how they approve. This is what they approve. Or this is what society says, you know, this is how, you know, I'm supposed to look. This is what beauty looks like, or this is what happiness looks like. This is what an empowered person looks like, all those things. And I feel like you may have felt alone in this journey, or sometime in your childhood, maybe you were picked on or bullied or teased or made to feel like who you were wasn't acceptable, wasn't approved of, and so you hid that version of yourself away. And so the part of you that you feel safe expressing is not your true authentic self. It's what is expected or what other people have said. Yes, you know, this is what we accept, and you have to act this way, you have to look this way, you have to love this way, you have to have, you know, this house and this car to be successful. You have to have this type of relationship, you know what I mean, with, you know, this and this to make a happy couple. Or you need to present yourself in these kinds of clothes and this type of hair in order to be, you know, beautiful, or this size. You know, you have to fit into all these molds and all these boxes and stuff in order to be acceptable as who you are. And I feel like your guidance is to step into your true sense of self and to step into your authority and to reclaim your worth, your value. Because I feel like you're somebody who, if you were to be your true self, you would be a very deep person, very emotional, very empathic, very intuitive individual, very loving, very brave, very strong, sense of willpower, you know, a strong sense of self, very wise. I mean, you have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, you know, a very strong, empowered woman who's in touch with her emotions and who she is. And I feel like there is that version of you that's hidden from view right now. I'm not sure what the spirit guides assistance is, other than maybe you don't pay attention to your intuition and you don't listen to the signs that are being presented to you. If you know, I feel like you ignore your deeper senses and your inner knowing, and you only focus on the outside appearance of things, and you've shut yourself off from listening to your natural instincts, or because you're so cut off from being and expressing your true self, that this part of you that is intuitive and that knows and believes in themselves and trusts their own, you know, authenticity. I feel like you've lost that connection in some way. And it doesn't mean it's gone forever or anything like that. It just means you've lost the sense of self, you've lost your footing in your own personal truth, because you're too busy trying to be something for everybody else, that you've lost that sense of who you really are, you know. And it could be that you're trying to be this for this person, you're trying to be this for that person, you know, trying to be mom, trying to be wife, trying to be daughter, trying to be granddaughter, trying to be, you know, doctor, teacher, whatever your profession is, but trying to do too many things at once and be something for everybody else, that you've lost the sense of who you are and the direction that you really want to be going. And it's time for you to start steering the ship and to own who you are and to stand in your sense of power. All right, let me see what these other ones are. We have isolation, stop. See if I can get them all on the board here. Hunger and protection. Yeah. Okay, so you do feel lonely. You do feel lost. I feel like you feel stuck because you've lost that that inner connection to your truth. And we'll get into how you can reclaim that, right? So there's a void. There's something that you know you should be doing, that you should be doing. There's this constant void in your life where there's this, something's missing, you know, you don't really see what it is maybe you're supposed to be doing because you've been too busy doing for everybody else that you've forgotten like your purpose, you've forgotten your mission, you've lost touch with that spiritual divine connection with your own self here. Protection here. See, something's been hidden from you. I feel like there's something that's locked away. I think you have maybe locked yourself away or hidden parts of yourself away that you felt weren't worthy because of the way other people have made you feel, you know. So there's something, I feel, that an unlocked potential that you haven't tapped into yet. So it could be something that's, you know, because our sacral chakras are a way of it's creating, it's our womb space, you know, if you're female, or it's your, you know, the masculine groin space, it's our creative energy, our creative potential, it's the waters of the body. And so with, you know, the water represents all of creation because we're all born in the womb, you know, in water. It's our first element that we experience. So there is a lot of, you hold a lot of potential and a lot of creative energy. You just have to tap into it. So I feel like there's something that's waiting to be tapped into and revealed to you. And it could be something that you may be denying about yourself, denying your truth, denying your true feelings, denying what you intuitively feel and sense. And that's because you were taught to ignore them and to be and perform and to do something else in order to seek approval from other people. All right, let me see. These are your messages on what you can do to shift the energy around. So we have direction, guardian, to choose your path. It's time for you to make a conscious choice, to choose who you want to be, to choose to feel the emotions, to feel your intuition, the guidance that's coming in, to listen to your spirit guides, to make a choice to choose the life that you want to be living and the life that you want to create for yourself. You have the air guardian, shift your perception, okay? So there's shifting that needs to be taking place. Like, you need to take the reins and you need to start steering the ship. You need to be the one who's in charge and the one who's making the conscious choices. And the air guardian, air rules the east, and the east direction is about new beginnings, new focus, enlightenment, rebirth, starting something with a new set of eyes, you know, seeing it with clarity and intellect, the mind, you know, willpower, using your own willpower to shift your perception and to choose the life that you want to be living and choose to embody your true self, to embody your true emotions and true feelings. And you have the earth guardian coming through here. The earth is ruled by the north element, and this is your ancestors here, your roots, staying grounded, staying rooted in your truth, grounding your perception, grounding in into your higher self, you know, and expressing the true version of who you are. You know, there's a purpose, there's a reason why Like if you feel so different from your family, right? Like if you have been so committed to doing what your family wants and what everybody else's needs are and meeting all of their needs, but you've forgotten about your own, you know what I mean? You've lost touch with who you are. It's time for you to go within and go start with the basics, you know? What did you enjoy doing as a child? Because that's where we start engaging in those creative, children, they express themselves so easily, whatever emotion they feel, they express it. They let you know if they're happy, they're sad, they're angry, or they're excited. They don't hold back. Their imagination runs wild, and they easily forgive. They easily move on from situations. They are so, imaginative, and they love to explore. They love to try out new things, and that's where you need to tap into. You need to tap into your heart. You need to go back to your childhood and embracing the things that were fun, the things that made you feel enjoyment and laughter, not the things that made you feel forced into something that doesn't fit, but you've just been doing it because that's what you were told, and you've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten your true purpose and your true self. And this is where you can begin. This is the steps, the direction that you can take, okay? And you had a lot of these want to come through, and I just decided to go ahead and take them because there's always a reason, And we have Medicine Guardian, and for me, this is Archangel Raphael. And he says, be open to healing information, okay? And working with Archangel Raphael, he can help you to rediscover your gifts, your talents. He is a healing angel, whereas Archangel Michael, he is a protective angel. He's like an angel of justice, and he's a warrior, and he's like the leader of the legions. And Archangel Raphael, he's a healer. He teaches about medicine, and the medicine is healing the inner child and working with your inner child so that you can bring healing and so that you can rediscover who you are and feel safe and confident in expressing your true self. And we have Summer with Bask in the Joy and Light. The B here. Okay, so this has to do with your solar plexus, and the solar plexus is just above the sacral chakra, and usually if one's affected, the ones beside it are affected as well, right? So the root is your truth of who you are, I am, and then the sacral chakra, this is your relationship chakra, your relationship and how you flow. And then we have the solar plexus coming through. And the solar plexus, this is where you embody your truth, where your inner child lies, being confident, being expressive, shining your lights, sharing your joy with others, with your community, with your friends. It's what do you bring into the world. And when you're living out somebody else's dreams and somebody else's fantasies and, living your life for other people's happiness, it's a lonely, unfulfilled life. And it brings everybody else pleasure and joy but you. What kind of a life is that? You're not meant to be living your life for other people. You're meant to be doing something that opens your heart, expands your heart, and it brings joy, it brings fun, it brings excitement to your everyday. That is a high vibrational energy, and that is your contribution to the collective, is that high vibrational energy. That's what you're here to bring. You're not here to live in this like low state of, unfulfilled, unhappy, life that's not satisfying. And anybody who is in your life who truly loves you, they would want to support you being happy, and if they don't, then it's time to say goodbye, to let go, to set healthy boundaries, to protect yourself from those people. If they're not going to support you on your journey to happiness, it's not hurting anybody. It's actually bringing more light, more joy, more love into the collective by setting that example for other people to follow their dreams and to do what lights them up, what makes them happy, what they're passionate about. We need more people who are living that life and setting that tone, setting that example for others, you know, becoming and embodying their true selves and not living a life for other people. All right, these are your angelic guidance here. So we have anxiety. All right, so you may experience anxiety. I inhale peace and I exhale worry. The angels come to comfort you and remind you that you're not alone and that assistance is accessible to you if you need it. Take it as a message that you need to make some time for yourself to unwind and concentrate on self-care. Let go of what you cannot change, okay? So the angels want you to practice, you know, some breath work whenever you feel yourself experiencing anxiety or worry or stress or fear, to stop, to pause for a moment, to take a couple deep breaths, to recenter yourself into the here and the now, where you have the power. The power is in your hand. It's not anybody else's. It's in your power, and you can choose what thoughts to act on, what emotions to act on, and empower yourself in that moment, and know that you're always being guided, that your angels are with you. You're never alone. Your spirit guides are here. They're assisting you. All you have to do is ask for help and support and guidance or signs, and be open and receptive to seeing them. So if you're somebody who hears you know, messages and music, like say you'll be thinking about something, or you have been wondering about something, and then a song comes on the radio and it just speaks to you on a different level, and you feel like, oh my goodness, like this is a sign for me. Like, pay attention to that, acknowledge that, say thank you, because then your guides will use that as a way to communicate to you. So if you see signs, if you you know, see signs in numbers, if you see it in animals, whatever the case may be, acknowledge when they are sent to you so that you can be open to communicating with your guides, okay? We have endurance. I embrace patience and trust in the process. Patience is a virtue that allows us to persevere. By trusting the journey, we cultivate endurance and resilience. The angels remind you that in order to succeed, you must learn how to control your impatience and wait until the right outcome you deserve comes along, okay? So I feel like, you know, there can be a lot of frustration about where you are in the path and where you are in the journey, and, you know, trying to fit into this mold that everybody else says, you know, well, this is how you should be living your life, this is what happiness looks like, blah 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 blah, you know what I mean? And so we have this like standard or this bar that we're trying to live up to. And that's like the thing is, it's like, who's setting the bar? And like, why are you allowing other people to set the bar for you? Like, you're the one who's in control, you're the one who's setting the standards for yourself, and you need to empower yourself with that, you know, and question yourself, well, who am I? What brings me happiness? What brings me joy? Take some time out to practice more self-care, more self-love, loving yourself for who you are, allowing yourself to be who you are, to express yourself in the ways that you feel you need to express yourself. If you need to take a break, if you need to go for a walk outside, you need to go on a vacation, or you just need to isolate yourself and remove yourself away from everybody else's opinions. Like, it's okay to do so, and you should definitely do it, and do it as often as you need to, as much as you can when the time presents itself, you know. Make sure that you are tuning into your heart and comforting yourself and comforting your fears and understanding where they come from as well. It's all about self-empowerment here. All right, so these are some crystals for you to work with to help you heal that sacral chakra. So we have the moonstone. Connect with lunar energy and embrace your intuitive gifts. So moonstone helps us to connect to our emotions and to go with the flow and to listen to our intuition more. And so some of you maybe you may want to work with the moon cycles and do some ritual work, helping you to release any old baggage, any old memories or painful experiences, or ways of you know, treating yourself, ways of expressing yourself, you know, if you feel like you have been holding back in any kind of way, out of fear, out of doubt or shame. Definitely work with some of the moon cycles here. You know, the new moons are a time for us to set intentions for growth, to plant new seeds, to begin new habits, you know, new ways of, if you're wanting to, you know, express yourself emotionally in some kind of way, and then to practice it for the 2 weeks until the full moon comes. And when the full moon comes is when we release. That's when we reach that full potential, and we step in and we embody those intentions that we set in the new moon. Okay, so practice doing some moon work here and expressing your emotions here. We have Serpentine. Embrace transformation, let go of old patterns and beliefs, okay? So Serpentine is going to help you to step into your true self and to embrace your emotions and to help you let go of old ways of seeing yourself, perceiving yourself, expressing yourself, so that you can securely and safely express who you are. And know that you're not going to be alone if you choose to embody your true self. Like, people who aren't meant for you, they're going to fall away naturally, because you are now expressing your true authentic vibration, and so you're going to be attracting people who resonate with that vibration, with your true self. The people who are meant to be in your life will gravitate towards you because they're meant to be in your life. And these people who are attracted to this false sense of you, they're not real true relationships. They're attracted to the person you're pretending to be. So when you transform and you embody your full self and you see yourself fully and completely and expressing that version of who you truly are, you're going to attract people who are drawn to your true self, okay? And your last one is the clear quartz. Amplify your intentions and let clarity light your path. Yeah, I feel like this is the stone about embodying and being honest with who you really are and being transparent, fully transparent, allowing yourself to be seen, stepping into your authentic self, and you will start to attract people who are, you know, who want to be in your life, because you're being authentic, so you will attract people who are authentic as well, okay? They're not going to be drawn to the false version of you that you're presenting yourself to be. Because you're not real, they're not going to be real. You know, you understand how it works? So when you embrace your true self and you embrace who you really are, then they can see who you are, and people who are attracted to that, you're going to attract people who like that version of you, because this is who you truly are, and you're no longer hiding it, you're no longer denying it, you're owning it. And yeah, working with clear quartz can help you in so many ways, because it's a master healer. So it will also help you to clear, cleanse, and transmute any of these old energies that you are learning to release. Okay. Whew. All right, pile number 3. This was your reading. Thank you all so much for being here in the temple with me today. If my readings resonate with you, please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story. I'd love to hear from you all. I'm sending you so much love. Take care and have a blessed day.